this tip is definitely for you, because I know it's for me. Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zoya Day, licensed esthetician, and this is Day's Beauty Room. And in today's video, we are starting our self-care series talking about emotional self-care, and I'm going to be giving you guys different tips on how to incorporate and practice emotional self-care into your daily routine. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and let's get into the video. So in 2021, I told myself that I was going to practice more practical self-care to help myself feel somewhat normal, I guess. Again, after all the craziness we experienced in 2020, I feel like 2021 I really want to take the time to just focus on me. And I think a lot of people are in that same mindset. So that is why today we are going to be covering emotional self-care. And emotional self-care means to simply care for your emotions and your emotional needs by identifying how you feel in that moment, or if there's been a feeling you can't seem to shake, or an emotion that you can't really identify or deal with. That's why we're going to be talking about practical ways to incorporate emotional self-care into your daily life. And when your emotional needs aren't being met, you can start to feel frustrated with small tasks. You can start to feel burnt out over simple things or things you normally would enjoy doing. So our first practical emotional self-care tip is learning to feel your emotions without judgment or guilt. You want to start by simply asking yourself, what is making me feel this way? Or is there anything or anyone in particular that has been triggering this emotion or feeling within you? And once you have a better understanding of what is making you feel this way or what is causing you to feel this way, you can better address it and find a way to move past it in a healthy way. So one of the ways you can kind of help work your way through emotions is by journaling, taking a few deep breaths, or meditating for a few minutes in that moment when you're feeling upset or frustrated. You can also do something to help break the energy, like playing a favorite song, just to kind of get yourself out of that element to better focus on what's bothering you. And this also gives you a time to calm down and relax so you can revisit it later on with a more clear head. Tip number 2, I feel like a lot of people struggle with without even knowing they struggle with it, and that's saying no. Now, I know it sounds super simple. If you don't want to do something, just say no. But simply saying no to things that either don't serve you or you just don't want to do will save you so much worry and anxiety in the long run. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing whatever it is that's causing you to be anxious or worried. Now, the best way to practice this is when an opportunity that you don't want to do comes up, simply say no. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to explain why. And I know that's something I also tend to do when I say no, but I'm learning to kind of break that cycle. I don't have to explain myself. If I don't want to do something, I don't have to do it. Just like if you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. Especially if it's something that you just genuinely don't enjoy doing or you have no interest in. Why waste your time? Why waste your energy? If anything 2021 has taught me is that life is short, so you shouldn't be spending your time doing things that don't serve you. So self-care tip number 3 for emotional self-care is going to be creating boundaries. Now I feel like this goes really well with tip 2 of saying no, because when you have boundaries in place, it kind of sets the tone for how you expect people to treat you. And if you have no boundaries set in place in your life, then you run the risk of allowing any and everybody just to kind of do whatever. And you're wondering why your anxiety is at an all-time high, or you're constantly worrying about certain things or things you really know you shouldn't be worrying about. It's because you have no boundaries, so you're just taking on everybody's energy, taking on everybody's emotions, everybody's problems, or whatever it may be, when you really don't have to. But also learning how to set certain boundaries allows you to not pour from an empty cup. When you have boundaries in place, it allows you to be there for people and show up for people in their everyday life or in your everyday life without giving too much of yourself and losing yourself in the process. So always make sure to set boundaries. And you can take tip 2, for example, and just start by learning how to say no, or recognizing certain things that trigger you within people and setting a certain expectation in regards to it will really help. So tip number 4 is going to be to give yourself grace to try again when things don't go as planned. Now, this is something I struggle with because I'm super hard on myself, and when I have a plan on doing something and it doesn't go the right way, I'm in a whole mood. But I'm learning that everything isn't going to be as planned or a straight line in life. And sometimes you just have to roll with the punches and whatever changes are happening to the best of your ability. And 2020 definitely taught me that. So learning how to just be patient with yourself and giving yourself a space, an opportunity to mess up, for things to go wrong, will really help with how you react to things, so you won't be so hard on yourself. So tip number 5 might seem kind of juvenile, but it really does make a difference in your overall emotional health, and that's learning how to accept compliments. Now, I know a lot of people don't realize that they even struggle with this, but if you get a compliment and your response is to downplay the compliment, then this definitely is a tip for you. So this is something I struggle with, and I have the tendency to do also. And so to help with learning how to accept compliments, someone told me this little piece of advice, and I always keep it in the back of my head when I get a compliment, and that's simply just shut up and say thank you. And even though it sounds juvenile, you would be surprised how hard it is to actually do this, especially if you are programmed to always downplay compliments. So just simply smiling and saying thank you after a compliment will over time start to help with how you respond to compliments. So I definitely recommend taking that little piece of advice. So tip number 6 is going to be learning how to make yourself a priority. And this is something that the whole self-care series is based on, and that's making yourself a priority. So just taking the time to do whatever it is you want to do for you. I know it's especially hard for busy moms, busy wives, entrepreneurs, and anybody else in between. So actively setting a time for yourself can really help with your overall well-being and emotional space. You can do things like meditating, yoga, sitting in your car, going to dinner by yourself. And the best rule of thumb I can give with this is treat every day like it's your birthday. For your birthday, 9 times out of 10, it's all about you. You're the priority. So kind of incorporate that same energy and that same mindset into your everyday life to help better prioritize yourself throughout the day. So tip number 7 is going to be to watch what you apologize for. Now, if you're the type of person who says sorry for every little inconvenience that you provide, even when you're not truly sorry, then this tip is definitely for you, because I know it's for me. I tend to say sorry when somebody else is being inconvenienced, not really if I'm inconveniencing somebody else. I do it both, but I do one more than the other. I do it because sometimes I don't really know how else to respond. So the best way to help stop saying sorry when you're not really sorry is to try to figure out what you really want to say. And if you don't have anything to say at all, then don't. One thing I've learned in life is that you don't have to respond to everything, good or bad, because sometimes you just don't have anything to say. Instead of saying sorry, just figure out what it is you're actually trying to say. My last and final tip is creating a support system. Now, this is going to be super important in helping with your overall emotional health, because having a support system that you can lean on and go to for advice or support is always a great feeling, because you know people have your back. So it could be close friends, family, and I know not everybody is gifted with having a support system. So if you have, close friends, or even some of these like Facebook groups that I'm in are like really supportive of each other and the group members that are in them. So maybe branching out and networking and finding a community that best suits you to help you start building a support system. Alright, my beauties, that was it for today's Sunday self-care series. If you found today's video useful, make sure to hit that like button and stick around next week, where we are going to be practicing social self-care and physical self-care in the name of Valentine's Day. So we'll be doing some pampering and loving on ourselves, and I'll show you guys how you can practice self-care with your spouse. so you're not going to want to miss that next Sunday. And speaking of Valentine's Day, if you are looking for a gift idea, I'm offering virtual skin consultations. That'll be a great gift to give your significant other so they can help build a skincare routine that is customized for them from me. So if you are interested, make sure you click the link in the description box, or you can head over to my Instagram where I'm constantly posting about my skin consultations and different skincare tips and advice. Also, to keep up with videos and all the fun stuff that I'm going to be having for February, since this is my birthday month, I plan on doing a bunch of different videos for you guys to keep you in the loop. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.